Welcome to episode 2 of the Web Design 2021 full course. In this tutorial, we'll be learning about how to install Figma locally to your device and also how to navigate the editor. So first, to start, we're going to go to the description, and in the description you'll see that I have posted a link to Figma downloads. You can also just Google it, and we're going to go to Figma downloads. And we're going to see desktop app for Windows. I'm currently on Windows. If you are on Mac OS, it's the same type of process, except you're going to have to drag your application. Once you run the setup file, you're going to have to drag the Figma application into your applications folder. So we'll just do desktop app for Windows. And as you see, it runs Figma setup, and you can just run the setup. Signing up with Google is the best way to do it. You can also sign up just with email. It'll ask you to select what kind of work you do, and you will have to select design and also put in your first name. So once you do those things, you will arrive on the home page, and Figma is cloud-based, so you need an internet connection to work on it. You can also work online if you load the file that you're working on with an internet connection, and then you can disable it and go offline. However, I wouldn't really suggest that. So to make a new file, go to the top right, you can go new. This is the Figma editor, and it's similar to a browser. As you can see, you can open new tabs and such, and each new tab would be a new file. So I'm just going to close this one. And as you can see, this is our toolbar. So to begin, this is our menu. And in the menu, we can search for anything like zoom. Maybe we want to save. Anything to do with the entire project. Next, we have the move tool. And the move tool is a selected tool by default, and it moves objects around and interacts with them. So just what it sounds like. Next up is the frame tool, and the frame tool is very important as all designs start with a frame. So depending on what we're designing, we'll have to start with a different frame size if we're designing for desktop, mobile, etc. So to start, let's make sure the frame tool is selected, and we'll just make any size frame. And on the right side, we'll see the frame drop down. We're going to select desktop, and now it'll make a frame perfect for desktop. We can resize this to work with our project window. And it is resizable. As you can see, this changes from desktop to whatever we resize it to. So you're not stuck with the dimensions once you change the frame type. And just one other note about frame, you can also see all the types of devices they offer, and you can use any of these in your designs. Next up, we'll go to the shape tool. And with the shape tool, if you click the little drop down arrow beside it, it'll show you all the options you can make. We're going to make a rectangle. You can make any size rectangle you like. Next up is the pen tool. We won't really be using this in this course, so I'm just going to skip over that. Next up is the text tool. This is very useful and very easy to use. First, make a text box, and within a text box you can type whatever you like. And lastly, for the toolbar, we have the comments section. And in the comments section, this would be used if you're handing the project over to a client, or if you want to invite a collaborator to the project and they want to make notes on it. So you can just left click and say, hey, change this. And that's how the comments work. So on the right side here, we have the properties panel, and we can see it's very interesting because depending on the object that we select, if we go to our select tool here, it will change. So if we select the rectangle, it will change. If we select the text, it will change. And each time it changes, it'll be different. So example for the text, we can change the font size, we can change the alignment. And now on the left side, we have the layers panel. And every element we add will show up here. It's called the layers panel because each element lays on top of another. So for example, if we add another rectangle in using the shape tool, and we color it a different color just to make it stand out. And let's say we wanted it to go behind this gray square. If we go to the layer panel, we can drag the selected object where we want to in the project. So if we want the red rectangle behind the gray rectangle, we can just drag the gray rectangle behind the red rectangle. And that's how we use the layer panel. And that is about all we have to cover for the beginner tutorial of Figma. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for part 3.